Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and you're listening to Going In Raw, baby.
Hey guys, this is Charlotte, and you're watching Going In Raw. Going In Raw. That sounds terrible.
What's up, it's your girl Sasha Banks, Legit Boss, and you are watching Going In Raw. You like that?
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson, available wherever podcasts can be found. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, notify bell next to it. Make sure you always got your new Going In Raw notifications. Hell in a Cell 2019 is in the books, Larson. Boy, oh boy. That was odd.
That was a great four-match show. Oh, they announced 4 more matches this morning.
Yeah. So that was kind of interesting. First, let's get this out of the way.
What?
Predictions-wise, you won fair and square. 3 points to 1 point.
Not really.
Based off the 4 matches. Let's get a ref in here. Ref, can we get in here? Let's get a ref over here.
Yes!
Raise
Larson
the hand.
wins. New champ. Not Steve anymore. Oh, my bad. Don't worry about that, Mike. We got it right here. Steve is Larson's champ. Not Steve. Larson. And you know what, boys? I came in for the live show.
And it was fun. Yeah, thank you, Cal.
That's all.
Thanks,
I get
Cal.
from you, though.
Thanks, Cal.
Thanks,
I
Cal.
want to watch this back later. Hearing me talk, boring. I want to hear it.
Okay.
The sultry voices of Steve Larson.
Thanks,
Drive
Cal.
safe, Cal.
Yes,
All
safe.
right, guys.
Text me when you get home. I want to make sure you're safe.
Don't worry, Steve. I'll be fine. Don't worry about your mic. I'll be good, boys. All right, friendos. Catch you guys later. Have a good one.
Bye, Cal.
Later, guys.
Thanks for coming by.
It was a blast.
No, it was
It was
fun. You
fun.
should make the next one.
Survivor Series.
No more napping.
When is Survivor Series, by the way? That's my banana.
You're going to take that?
That's my banana. All right, guys.
Bye, Cal.
Later. I get home safe. Bye-bye.
All right.
Not really. 3-1 isn't much of a decisive victory.
A victory is a victory. Doesn't matter if it's 30-1 or 3-1. Anyways. Hell in a Cell impressions. It was a better show than I thought it was going to be. And I actually, look, I know I'm going to catch shit for this.
Why?
I understand this.
People want finality. I understand that. But we're looking at storytelling here if you're talking about the main event.
Yeah, I thought, look, man, Bray Wyatt, I have said since like day one, way back, Bray Wyatt doesn't necessarily need to be a title guy, although I'd love to have him win an actual title. That isn't a tag team title with Matt Hardy.
Typically, like a title is a manifestation of one's success in the wrestling world, kind of.
Well done.
I guess money really is, but title too.
The Fiend is something completely different. Obviously, he is literally a horror movie character. Mm-hmm. And that's what we saw done, I thought, to perfection tonight in that main event. I liked the red lighting. I totally get that the live crowd probably was not happy about that.
Horrible for the live crowd.
I totally get that, and I understand completely. I like the red lighting. The fact that Seth had to do, and you mentioned this during the stream, and you're completely right, there were shades of John Cena versus Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, WrestleMania 30.
Where John Cena had to approach lines.
He had a chair in his hand. The idea was if he bashes Bray over the head with it, he would win the match, but in doing so, compromise his own morals.
Right.
In the end, it didn't matter. He didn't do that and still won the match. So
yeah.
Whatever. But Bray, or in this scenario, that thankfully never presented itself. That is, Seth could preserve his morality and still win the match because he took a sledgehammer to the Fiend's head.
Yes.
And the ref said, "Okay, that's going too far."
I thought that was I thought all the stomps and the pedigree and the stomps and all that stuff, and then the toolbox and the ladder and the chair shot. Once that first chair shot directly to the head, once that went down, I was like, oh man, this is great. This is because now we're going past, and this is not for everybody. I totally get that, and I'll get creamed in the comments. That's totally fine. I don't care. I liked it. Once you get into that territory, you're totally moving into horror movie territory. Now, what they need to do is tomorrow on Raw, if Seth Rollins does appear, which he shouldn't, it should be another week before we see him. He has to look at that Universal title and think to himself and say, is this even worth it? Is this worth it? Everything I've had to go through, and now I've got this. Is it worth it?
And now I've betrayed who I am. Is it worth it just to keep on this piece of leather and metal?
And then to take it even further, if you really want to get into cool horror movie status, like, good horror movies, like during backstage interviews, leading up to Crown Jewel, for example, Well, you've got past the Fiend. Now you're part of Team Hogan. Yeah, it's a real honor. And he starts vomiting blood.
Oh, totally.
Like, this should play out. But will they do it? Probably not. They'll probably just be like, oh, he's moved past the
So in the crowd whistle. He thinks it's the Fiend's music.
right.
Music.
Exactly,
like that.
yeah. Like, he should be showing up at the subsequent Raws with bags under his eyes because he can't sleep.
Remember when Neville lost the Cruiserweight title?
Right.
It should be like that.
Yeah, it should be.
He looks like he hasn't slept in a week. Hair all in his face.
Except more vomiting blood.
Yes, exactly. It should be all
shirts
about-
with stains on it.
Yes. Well, blood
stains.
vomit stains.
Blood vomit stains.
Blood vomit stains.
That's
yeah.
really what it should be. I mean, if you want, like, and that's what all of the Fiend's victims should be dealing with.
Yes.
Is PTSD after dealing with the Fiend.
Correct.
That's what it should be. I mean, are people upset that he didn't win the Universal title? Yeah, okay, I guess it's a title match. But I
think
don't know,
in
man.
the larger sense, they're finally staying true to what this iteration of Bray Wyatt's character is. Mm-hmm. Pretty instantly at WrestleMania 30, they had him lose the match while at the same time, John Cena didn't lose anything.
Did Bray Wyatt, did in Firefly Funhouse, has he said anything about the Universal Championship? I honestly don't think he's said word one.
I think Golden One Center in a tweet said more about it than he ever has.
And I am notorious for forgetting things, but I don't recall one time hearing him say word one about the Universal
No, I
Championship.
think it was all about I just want to challenge Braun or Seth, who happens to win the match. I guess
once it turned into Seth, it seemed like a very personal thing about Seth, not about what Seth owned.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, this makes, for WWE, this actually makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
I mean, the Bray Wyatt coveting a material possession, be it Bray Wyatt, Firefly Funhouse, or the Fiend, or whatever, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Would it be cool? Like, could they have taken this down a lot of cool avenues? Him possessing the Universal Championship, the thing that everybody wants? Absolutely, they could have. Sure.
Now, if tomorrow night on Raw, Seth takes a week off, the following week on Raw, Seth comes out.
Oh, he'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah, no, he will. So whenever he comes up next, and drops a promo, and he says, "Well, I have to ask myself, is this worth it? This Universal title, is this worth doing everything I had to do?" And he comes around and goes, "Well, I had to wrestle with that, but in the end, yeah, because the Fiend represents blah 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 blah." Then at that point, the Universal title just isn't a championship belt; it's something of great importance.
It's part of his soul,
and therefore, Bray taking that from Seth is taking a piece of Seth away from him. Therefore, it's not just winning a title; it's taking something from him.
Yeah, and then you can set that up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I liked it as a step one. I mean, step one is Hell in a Cell. I mean, I think that's pretty strong. We both said it was too soon for the Universal title, and I don't know.
It's nice that they're not rushing into things, because if Bray had won the Universal title in his second match, like, what's next then? Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you can't just have him. You'll have him hold it for a while because you can't have him lose yet.
Yeah.
So it's good they're taking their time, which is nice. It seems like this is the second instant in the last few months. The first being the Roman Reigns, who attacked him mystery. They decided to take their time with that. They're taking their time with this. It's the right move, because when Bray, I'm assuming he eventually will win the title, because it will mean something to Seth.
That might be a pretty big leap to take. That's definitely how they should do it. And it seems like it should make sense. It's WWE. They might want to keep that Universal Championship on Seth for whatever reason for as long as they can. Mm-hmm. And Bray will just do, he'll either do like Undertaker stuff, or he'll challenge like Undertaker, or he'll challenge, I don't know, Goldberg or whatever. I don't know. Like, he could do any number of things. They might have him away from the title. I hope not. I hope this thing with Seth should be a lot.
Yeah, there's still a lot to mine here.
Yeah.
There's still a lot to cover. Outside of the main event, there was a lot of good.
There was a lot of good.
The opening match, the first Hell in a Cell match, Sasha and Becky, was awesome. Really creative. They took advantage of the cell in interesting ways without having to do any sort of crazy spots off it. Neither of the matches had crazy spots off.
So Bayley lost also, and she lost her title.
Yeah.
And her and Sasha both had similar reactions in the end. The last we saw of them, they were
crying.
Literally crying.
Yeah.
I would think that would factor into something with them going forward, maybe a meaner streak. I don't know.
It's that, or I've kind of been convinced that at the end of the day, this reunion between Sasha and Bayley was going to eventually lead to a feud between them.
Sure.
And if it's a situation where they both think they're stronger together, and then they go on, and in this case, Bayley just losing her title, find out that's not the case, then there's going to be a turn by somebody.
I mean, Bayley could easily say, ever since you've come back, you made it about you, and look at what it's got me. That could be totally the case. But it was, regardless, Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch, and I thought the Bayley versus Charlotte
It was good.
match,
It was really good. Both of them were really good.
I thought they were both really good.
There was a bit of a lull in the middle of the show where it kind of just felt like a glorified Raw.
This could have been a killer 2-hour pay-per-view.
It would have been a really fun 2-hour pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Like Corbin versus Chad Gable was a good match.
Should have been on Raw.
It could have easily been a Raw match. The OC versus War Raiders and Braun, totally a Raw match
from beginning to
especially with the finish how it was.
Totally. Randy Orton Ali was set up during Hell in a Cell.
During the pre-show,
Was the pre-show kickoff
during
show,
the kickoff
yeah.
show, that could have been a SmackDown match. But then we saw new women's tag champs crowned.
With I'm going to say a fairly big development with Asuka. Has she used Miss before?
Not in WWE. I don't know about prior to.
I don't recall seeing, and it wouldn't surprise me in Japan she did, but I'm pretty sure she did in Japan.
Yeah, I don't recall.
I mean, she did like zombie characters and stuff.
Yeah.
NXT, I don't recall her using that.
No, she didn't use it at all in NXT.
Man, I thought it was awesome.
It was. I mean, both of them were not working super overtly heel, except for the miss spot. But Kyrie was doing some stuff where at one point she was kind of marching across the ring to do her corner lariat, and goes to Nikki and like pokes her in the eyes or something, or hits her.
No, there was definitely an eye poke there. There was some. I don't know. I mean, I guess you wouldn't call that cheating. Yeah. I mean, it's not even straying
They just
towards
had an
like.
edge.
Yeah, they
Edge to
did.
it.
Yeah. I mean,
is
spray
great.
mist, poisonous mist at somebody's.
Yeah, that's a
face.
bit more than an edge.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I mean, technically, that's cheating. You're not supposed to
I guess it is.
spray mist.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be able to do that.
Has anybody ever been DQ'd for spraying
I'm
mist?
sure it's happened before.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. That's why they typically try to do it when the ref's not looking. That's what happened in this match.
And then we had a house show-esque fan service moment from Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I guess I was wrong about the heel turn there. I thought with the handshake they were setting some up there, but nah.
Oh man,
They were doubling down on fan service.
That was a brutal match. That's one thing I cannot abide by. Is
No, that's a fair point. That's
if-
why I told you early on, like Daniel Bryan did his drop kick, just barely touched Rowan or Harper.
But then once you start, didn't they, like put him through a table or something? I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of a bridge too far then to mention that. So.
You can't come back from that.
So
Can't
you-
be like, no, I swerved you. And
You
they're-
powerbomb me through a table, but we're good.
I'm their friend,
We're doing it for
really.
the team.
Anyways, the kickoff show rather.
Yeah.
Was Lacey Evans versus Natalia for the 8th time.
Something like that.
According
The
to
ninth
Sean
time will
Ross
be-
Sapp.
Yeah, tomorrow will be the 9th time they have the last woman standing match on Raw.
They have good chemistry in the ring.
I feel like Lacey Evans, just through this feud with Natalia, has grown as an in-ring performer.
I think so.
And
This
I
should have been
wonder-
like one of her first feuds.
I know. I wonder if, I assume they're wrestling 3-4 days a week, wrestling not only on Raw, seemingly every week, but also on the house show circuit.
Probably pick up a lot.
Yeah, Natalia is a seasoned pro. She's a great wrestler.
Yeah.
I'm sure can impart a lot of knowledge to Lacey.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a bummer this wasn't Lacey's first feud from NXT instead of getting put right in the title picture. Maybe they saw how kind of green she still was during that program with Becky in the ring and thought, okay, let's put her in there with a veteran.
Yeah.
Someone that can really help her out. And I think it's bore some fruit. Early on, Lacey avoids a sharpshooter and gets out of the ring. Natalia follows, tosses her in the ring steps. And it was like they were both jockeying for position, kind of, to get the other one into sharpshooter. Because at one point, Lacey starts really working over Natalia's leg when they're in the ringside area, chokes her over the bottom rope, hits her slingshot elbow, gets a 2. But then in the end, Lacey misses a moonsault. Natalia puts a sharpshooter on her. Lacey taps out. Even before the hole's like completely locked in, she was tapping immediately.
Yeah. Well, I kind of wonder, once she was tapping and the ref called the bell, Lacey sort of like, and it wasn't overt, but she sort of nudged Natalia to get off her. When she had that moonsault,
Oh, I think she might hurt herself or something.
maybe because like she came down and like it was like from her like upper chest up hit like Natalia.
Oh yeah.
And then to have your back, like if she messed up her back at all, and then to be in the sharpshooter, I mean that's gonna
That might hurt.
it might have because I noticed she sort of nudged her off, and I was like, oh man, I wonder if she
Tweet something, yeah.
maybe.
After the bell rings, they both get up, and then Natalia like decks Lacey with a forearm. Mm-hmm. So
It wasn't really like a double turn type thing.
no, it's more payback from what happened last week when
It was a receipt.
Lacey Evans hit her with the wins right after the match.
Main card kicked off with Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch in Hell in a Cell. It actually started outside Hell in a Cell, though.
That's right.
Sasha attacked before the bell, beat up Becky up on the ramp as the cage came down, and then we're off to the races.
Yeah, it's kind of, in a way, disappointed, but then again, not that the door wasn't chained shut yet. Because I thought, they're going to let them go up to the top of the cell. Not that I want to see anybody go off it, but at least the idea of them brawling on top could be fun.
That's another thing I did not miss. I'll be honest with you. I know it's Hell in a Cell. I thought that the two matches that were in the cell made wonderful use of the cell without making me anxious if somebody's about to get hurt.
This one especially, they did all sorts of creative stuff.
They did. This was more reminiscent of the Usos versus the New Day
Yeah.
and how creative they got with the cell.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Bray versus Seth was just a horror movie, which makes sense.
And I guess the 95% of that could have just been a hardcore match, but the fact that they were both stuck, especially Seth stuck in that cage with Bray, kind of makes it a little creepier. But
Yeah.
as far as the
And
actual
right,
action, it
yeah.
could have just been any hardcore match.
Sure.
But yeah. Anyways, Cell comes down. They're starting to make their way back into the cage. And then Becky kicks the door in Sasha's face. The ref's trying to chain the door shut. Becky grabs the chain, wraps her in her fist, and starts beating up Sasha with it. And then gets the chair, takes it to Sasha, including hitting her pretty much square in the face.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And then puts the table in the ring. And then we had a exciting sequence where Sasha goes for an easy, cheap roll-up win. She tried like 4 or 5 different roll-ups.
Yeah.
Got a 2 every time.
Seth should have paid attention to that.
I know. Quick roll-up.
Quick roll-up victory on the
If only
Fiend.
you're wrestling Baron Corbin, you would have won it easily.
Yeah.
And then Sasha's ringside. Becky hits 3 kicks, kicking Sasha into the cage. This bit was great. There's a ladder set up in the corner of the cell. Becky's kind of woozy in front of it. Sasha runs off the apron, hits a meteor, sending Becky into the ladder. That was pretty awesome.
That was really creative, yeah.
And then Sasha sticks Becky's arm in the door of the cell and grabs the door and starts bashing it.
That looked good.
That was great. And then Sasha puts Becky on a chair, then hits a second rope meteor off that. And then Becky kicks Sasha to the cage again, hits the Bexploder into the cage. Back in the ring, there's a chair set up. Becky hits a drop toe hold and then a bulldog onto the chair. And then Sasha goes out, gets the kendo stick, takes it to Becky. And then she sticks a couple kendo sticks in the corner, a la what the Usos did with the New Day.
Yeah.
No one was trapped this time. So there's a couple kendo sticks through the corner of the cage. Tries to ram Becky into it. Becky holds off, reverses, rams Sasha into it. Then she puts a chair on top, puts more kendo sticks to support the chair. So the chair maybe 4 feet up, 3.5, 4 feet up.
It was very,
It's quite an apparatus she constructed there.
very creative.
Yeah,
it really was.
Very creative. And so she picks up Sasha, puts her on there.
It was very stable, too.
It was. There was like 4 kendo sticks in there.
It was high quality
You can tell
construction.
they practiced
going
that.
on there.
And then she hits a drop kick off the apron while Sasha's sitting in the chair. Again, a really creative spot.
Yeah, it was good. It was like, how can we have a chair float here?
They have a levitating chair. Yeah. Back in the ring, Becky sets up a table, and while she's doing that, Sasha comes behind her, hits a nasty backstabber. That one had some stank on it. Sasha puts Becky on the top. They're brawling up there a little bit. Eventually, she sends Becky off, and then she hits a meteor off the top rope that puts Becky through the table. And then she puts Becky in the bank statement with a kendo stick. Since there's no rope break, Becky has to kind of shimmy out of the ring down out below the bottom rope to get out to break up the hold. And Sasha kind of gives chase. Becky takes a kendo stick and starts hitting her in the back of her head and her neck.
Yeah. That looked bad.
Ow. And then there's a chair kind of set up with the legs inside the holes in the fence. That was levitating. This match was all about levitating chairs.
I feel like they did like a 2K match that was like super glitchy with like chairs floating everywhere.
I know.
And you're like, hey, how can we recreate that?
They simmed the match in 2K,
Right.
the early build of 2K20. And so
Yeah, everybody had copies of those at SmackDown. Did you notice that? Everybody on the red carpet. I wonder if they were all empty. Because
maybe
they were like showing them off. Everybody was
just the
showing
case.
them off.
Yeah. So anyway, Sasha tosses Becky into that chair that was levitating there. And then Sasha starts throwing, I don't know, a dozen chairs in the ring while Becky's in there. She goes up to the top. Becky catches her, hits a second rope Bexploder onto all the chairs, transitions right into a disarmor. Sasha taps.
Yep.
After the match, Sasha distraught. Maybe tears in her eyes.
Weeps.
Yes.
If nothing else, she was trying her darndest because she had that.
She had cry face.
She had cry face. Yeah, she totally had cry. It was like John Cena was dressing her down.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was probably. I mean, if you're just talking about wrestling, that was probably the best match of the night. In terms of what I enjoyed most,
Of course, Steve enjoyed
probably Seth Bray.
the one the closest to a snuff hill.
Man, yeah. I mean, look, I was a fan of the House of Horrors match.
Yeah.
I was.
This one was far closer to simulated murder than that ever was.
It
though.
was. It totally was.
Because it ratcheted up several steps. Mm-hmm. We'll get to that more later.
Sledgehammer directly to
The toolbox on top of ladder, on top of chair, on top
yeah.
of face, yes. Next was a tornado tag match. I guess it was made tornado tag probably today on Twitter. Like half the matches on the card. Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan taking on Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. I mean, I feel like it still made all sense in the world for Harper and Rowan to pick up the win here. Nonetheless, Roman Reigns is involved, so not so much.
No, evidently they're happy with Daniel Bryan going back to being face.
Yeah, totally babyface.
Yeah,
Kinda-
big baby face.
It's kind of a bummer, though. They feel like they need more heels, just in general.
Well, who do they have? They have Baron, Randy, I guess.
Nakamura,
Brock,
Fiend,
Fiend.
who's technically heel, but I feel like he's kind of above the heel face spectrum.
Yeah. Ah.
I don't know. He was doing such good work. It's just like to see him. So the latter half of this match was tons of fun, just action all over the place. The former Bludgeon Brothers just tearing crap apart.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, Harper hits the Michinoku driver on Daniel Bryan. Roman comes in and breaks the pin up. Harper lays out Roman with a suicide dive. It almost like he hit his face on the announce table.
Yeah.
He had a ton of
Harper,
momentum.
there were like two different bits during this match. This was one of them.
And earlier on was Daniel Bryan hit a suicide dive on Harper and landed on his leg.
Yeah, and Harper started selling the knee like big time. Maybe got like whatever you call it when it.
Charlie horse.
Charlie horse,
Well,
yeah.
that's usually up in your thigh.
Yeah.
It looked like Daniel Bryan landed more on his lower leg, his ankle.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was just really selling.
I think he really was because at that point when he hit like the suicide dive, like he was holding his face like he busted his nose something
open, I
fierce,
know.
but there was no blood.
No blood, or it didn't look.
And then later
swollen
on
in
he was
his place.
totally like
he was totally fine.
A minute later he was fine.
Yeah. So that's after that they start tearing up stuff ringside. They take what protective padding there is between the corner of the ring and where the LED board is off. Drop Daniel Bryan face first onto that. Rowan slams Reigns ringside and slams Harper on top of him, and then Rowan takes a chunk of the barricade off, just rips it off, hits Roman with
That
it.
was a good looking spot.
Yeah. Harper and Rowan go for their finish. The full Nelson powerbomb thing on the table on Daniel Bryan. Bryan reverses it into a Rana, sends Harper to the floor, and then Reigns spears Rowan through the other announce table. Back in the ring, Daniel Bryan has the upper hand. He goes for a Frankensteiner on Luke Harper. On the way down, Harper catches. Instead, hits him with the powerbomb off the top rope. Mm-hmm. And then Harper just starts doing half and half suplexes. Daniel Bryan hits two of them, goes for a third. Bryan reverses. Roman hits a Superman punch. Daniel Bryan hits a knee plus. Roman hits a spear, pins Harper. They win.
Yeah.
And
Bryan extends his hand out to shake Roman Reigns' hand. No, I'm sorry. Bryan
that's right.
extends his hand, yeah. Roman goes to shake it. Bryan pulls it back. Crowd boos. But then he extends his hands in hugship.
Yeah.
And he starts like getting that crowd all into it. Everybody's wanting to hug.
And Roman kind of turns around.
He's like, man, I'm too cool for this.
And then looks back towards Daniel Bryan, smirks a little bit.
Yeah.
And they embrace.
And they hug. And they both seem so happy.
I know. They know how goofy it is. It's a total house show moment.
It was totally a house show moment. But it was a fun match. I always get the feeling with Daniel Bryan that he's going out there whenever he has a match and he wants to have a match that he would be totally happy if it was his last match ever. Mm-hmm. This dude took so many nasty bumps. And when I say nasty bumps that look like they could be very risky. And, the top rope power bomb.
I know.
With what he's gone through, I think he just realized that anything can happen at any time.
Yep.
Might as well go out and do the best match I can.
Just rely on the training you've had and hope for the best, pretty
Yeah.
much. After this, we had a Seth Rollins interview. I think he was talking about prevailing, overcoming,
He should
winning.
have thrown up during this.
Yeah. Or at least a nervous belch. Or say, sorry, excuse me, I have a nervous poop.
I have a nervous poop.
It doesn't happen very often, but every now and again I get nervous. I got to go poop.
I got to go poop because I'm nervous.
And if I don't get this out before I match, it's going to ruin my whole day.
So during the kickoff show, there was a Mustafa Ali interview.
Yes.
That was interrupted by Randy Orton.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what was said, but
It led to a match.
it led to a match. Thank God, because we had time to fill. So that match happened. That match happened next. Randy Orton versus Mustafa Ali, and man, it was a fun match.
Well, of course, Mustafa Ali's in it.
He can't
He's
do bad.
fabulous.
matches.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorites. It'd be nice if he picked up a win from time to time.
Yeah, it didn't happen this time. He was able to reverse or avoid an RKO by doing like a handstand thing
And walking back a couple steps.
But as everybody does, he got caught by an RKO out of nowhere when he was jumping into the ring and
Like to do his X Factor type deal.
do the X Factor thing. Yeah,
And then Orton hits with RKO.
yeah.
No punishment for Randy.
Nope. He's above punishment these days. Hey, you know
Fantastic
what?
to see Ali get a win.
You know
though.
what seems to work is saying publicly that you want to have a match with Will Ospreay and publicly praising the first episode of AEW Dynamite.
And saying you want to have a match with Sammy Guevara as well.
Right. That might do the trick. Oh, man, we don't want to lose Randy Orton. He seems anxious to get out of here.
Anyways, let's talk about women's tag title match.
Yeah.
This was solid.
Again, set up, announced this morning with a slew of other matches.
Yeah.
But, man, this was a fun match. Like you said, Kabuki Warriors were wrestling with a bit more edge. Started off with Kairi Sane and Nikki Cross. Kairi Sane did a what do you call that?
Oh, the march.
Oh, the
thing.
march. Yeah, it was a march. It was a march. Avoided Nikki Cross and pushed Alexa Bliss off the ring or off.
No,
the
it
apron.
was
the other way around.
Yeah, Alexa was in the corner, and so she marched back up to the corner to do the corner lariat. Mm-hmm. So she's in Nikki and Alexa's corner.
Yeah.
Marches across, pokes Nikki in the eye.
You know what it was?
And then does a corner lariat.
It was like common sense tag team stuff.
I know.
Always try to get the other guy off because the other guy's going to come in and ruin your
It's
pin.
like how we play 2K19.
I know, exactly. I don't know why more people don't do that, but they were doing
You
that
can't
here.
necessarily telegraph running to the corner and spearing him off the apron every time. You have to be a little more sophisticated about it. Poke him in the eye.
Correct.
If only we could do that in 2K19.
Yeah.
At one point, we thought Asuka and Kyrie were done for. Asuka goes to the top, Kyrie goes to the top rope for an insane elbow. Nikki gets her knees up, so Kyrie essentially knees her elbows, or her elbows her knees. Sorry, I got some Del Taco this.
Yeah, we had a lot of Del
Hitting my
Taco
belly
tonight.
the wrong way. Nikki hits her finisher, the swinging neck breaker. Asuka comes in, breaks up the pin. And then shortly after that, out of nowhere, wasn't expecting it at all. Asuka just spits green mist all over Nikki's
What
face.
was hilarious was just moments before, one of our friendos super chatted us
Johnson DJ, I think it was.
and said, what did he say? Something
Which
like,
WWE superstar do you think should bring back the mist?
and then Asuka did it.
Not 3 to 5 minutes before.
Yeah.
So she missed Nikki, kicks her in the head, pins her, and I didn't notice it, but someone in chat made a point of saying the way she pinned Nikki was to obscure the mist all over her face.
Yeah.
And gets the win.
That was for everything. They show a reaction shot down there at ringside of Nikki Cross, and Alexa looks at her and says, "What happened to your face?"
I know. And Asuka looks great because she still has the mist
yeah.
on her coming out of her mouth and stuff. It looked awesome.
Yeah, it was terrific. I hope.
And Kyrie's body language when they gave her that belt was
I
fantastic.
know, man.
It's kind of like,
I love it. I'm looking forward to this title reign. Hopefully, I want them to be journey women and take this title to every brand there is.
That'd be
Take it to
pretty cool.
UK.
take it to NXT.
Take on Ginny and Jazzy Gobbard. Mm-hmm. Take it to NXT. Take on Chelsea Green and Deanna Pratt.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and yes. Next, a match that could have very easily been on Raw. The OCs taking on the War Raiders
The Ox.
and mystery partner Braun Strowman. He wasn't wearing his Christmas pants.
No, I'm glad about that. They're ugly. They're horribly ugly.
Maybe he washed them and they just fell all apart.
That could be. They always seem like they're on the brink.
Well, they're made of wrapping paper stuff.
Why wasn't this Cedric Alexander? I mean, I know the reason why, because they're setting up Braun Strowman versus Tyson Fury.
Well, I kind of feel like they could have done that a bunch of different
They
ways.
could have done that a million other ways.
Yeah, it should have been Cedric.
Really should have been.
Why is Cedric not in the U.S. title picture anymore, apparently?
Cedric buried? Maybe Cedric buried. Who knows?
It's a shame if true. I was doing we're doing our mock draft. We're going to shoot that tomorrow, and I was doing my board, my big board. Yeah. I have to move Cedric down a little bit, unfortunately.
Yeah, doesn't look good for him.
He was on my short list of the top 25 men to consider. To move him down lower.
Can you share your cheat sheet with me?
Afraid not, Steve.
Really?
Mm-mm.
I don't want to do any work.
Confidential. Damn it. I just went on Wikipedia, WWE roster. Best, 40 names is run down.
Very well. All right.
Men, women, tag teams.
Fine. So let's talk about this match.
Okay. It could have been on Raw.
This really should have been on Raw. Braun Strowman won.
Yeah, with a punch. No. Wait. No, there was no winner. They called for the bell because Anderson and Gallows.
Oh, that's right.
Were double teaming Braun.
Yeah.
And then the referee's 5 count. They call it DQ.
That was stupid. That's why
Braun
it should have
didn't
been
really
on Raw.
win. Yeah, no. So, of course.
Braun stood tall.
Yeah, he did. So, Braun gets AJ up for a power slam. Carl Anderson hits him with a chop block. And then Gallows and Anderson start beating the heck out of him. Ref calls for the bell. War Raiders come in. They clear the ring of the heels, or at least of Gallows and Anderson. Hit double suicide dives on him. AJ's on the apron. He goes for nominal form. And Braun just hits him with a right hand.
Yeah.
And AJ is acting like he got hit by a truck. Because after Braun poses over AJ like this, he walks out. Gallows and Anderson help AJ up, and AJ's just stumbling all over the place. Like he just got knocked out.
He's really good at He's really good at doing.
He's a good seller. Yeah,
he's a good seller.
He's a really good seller. So that's, if we've been talking for a long time, how Braun is like the Big Show.
He's a celebrity guy.
Now he's got punch finisher.
Yeah. One step closer. He needs a couple of guest appearances on mid-card
sitcoms. Own Netflix program.
That's like 10 years from now. Yeah. Oh, but if he's being fast-tracked.
This whole thing is accelerated. He bypassed the whole world title, beating Hogan, losing a monster truck match, all
going
that
back
stuff.
down to developmental, coming back up,
Passed
being out of shape, in shape.
Passed through all that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Fast-tracked.
Fast-tracked to celebrity guy. This is the second celebrity program already.
I know. Not a good place to be.
Not really. After that, we had a Street Profits promo that was interrupted by 24/7 title defense. Tamina rolled up Carmella.
It is her first title in the WWE. So good for her. Yeah. Thought she'd win those tag titles back when they were a thing.
Yeah, I know.
Her and Nia Jax were a thing.
I wonder when Nia's coming back. She's been out for a while. Been a knee injury.
Yeah, she's been out for a little while.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Tamina got a championship. That's cool. Good for her. Mm-hmm. After that, we had King Corbin come out. And he finally, after we had heard that WWE had trademarked Shorty G, he dubbed him, was it just Shorty Gable?
Shorty Gable,
Shorty Gable.
He says, he thus nameth thee.
I wonder if it's going to be a thing where...
Bequeath to you the name.
So by the end of this match, which Gable won with a roll-up, of course.
It's Baron's weakness. It's best storytelling WWE has done in 15 years is Baron falling victim to roll-up.
It is. Greg Hamilton... said, and your winner, Shorty Gable. So he's with it. He observes the royal proclamation.
Yes, indeed.
And
as he must, yes.
And then backstage, well, of course, it's royal. Backstage, Gable was in an interview, and he sort of owned Shorty Gable.
He's like, yeah, you can call me Shorty.
I wonder if then he's going to be the one who self-dubs him
Shorty G.
Shorty G.
Yeah.
Gets rid of the Gable.
He owns it, yeah.
G.
Yeah. It's a fun match, though. Yeah, but it could have been a really good Raw match. It would have been a really good
Should have been a good Raw match.
Yeah. There was a great bit where Gable was doing a bunch of his flip kicks to Baron. Baron catches the last one, drops with a huge powerbomb. That was great.
Yeah, that was cool.
Finish saw Gable, near finish, sorry. Gable reversed and ended days, hits kick, and then a moonsault gets a 2. As soon as Baron kicks out, transitions to an ankle lock. Baron gets the ropes. Baron crawls out. He gets a scepter. He wants to cheat. Gets a DQ. He swings at Shorty, misses. Gable rolls him up, studying his tape. Smart wrestling.
Yeah.
For the win.
Yes. Yeah. So Shorty Gable is your man.
Yes.
After that, we had
Charlotte versus Bayley. This was a fun match. They were both working over each other's leg. Interesting strategy for Bayley, considering she didn't have like any sort of submission finisher for the lower body.
Yeah.
Maybe thinking, though, if I damage Charlotte's leg, she can't do figure 8 to me.
Yeah.
Probably.
Probably.
So I'm guessing.
Be a week. It would be like a figure 3.5.
Maybe, yeah. Okay. So like early on, Bailey.
Isn't the numerical value because it's more powerful now?
Yeah, it's double.
It's double.
Double the power of a figure 4 because you bridge it.
Exactly, you bridge it.
Doesn't really make an 8 shape though. Early on, Bailey pulled Charlotte out of the ring and starts working over her leg, and then tables are turned. Charlotte starts working over Bailey's leg, but then Charlotte hits natural selection. Too close to the ropes though.
Yep.
Bailey grabs it
See, if they had been inside the ring, that wouldn't have mattered.
in the middle of the ring. Yes.
I'm sorry if it was in Hell in a Cell.
No, it wouldn't have. Charlotte goes for the moonsault, misses. Bailey gets her knees up at least. Charlotte rolls out of the ring. Bailey gives chase. She is a fall away slam though. Bailey rolls up Charlotte right next to the ropes. She wasn't content just to put her feet on the ropes. Her feet were on the top rope.
Yeah, that was a problem. Should have probably
Bad
done...
heel work by Bailey there.
Yeah,
Ref
she's
totally
new
saw it.
at it. She's new.
I know.
She's
The
new at
thing
being
is
a
that
heel.
she's new.
The thing is, she's new.
She's new. And right after that, Charlotte puts Bailey in the figure 8. Bailey taps. Then afterwards, Charlotte takes her title. She goes up to 10-time champion. And they just linger on Bailey as she's just having a fit.
She had a fit.
Fit.
Yeah, throws the ring steps,
Pushes the ref.
sits down, and
Weeps.
just weeps. Bailey wept.
Bailey wept indeed.
So her and Sasha both wept. We'll see where that takes them.
You think this is the playoff, the rumors of them having their fit after losing titles at Mania?
I kind of feel like Vince is too literal, man. He would have had them like literally get on the floor on their
But
backs,
recall, this is,
stomp their feet.
at least for Sasha, this is a Raw program. That's under the auspices of one Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
He might appreciate the nuance of not referencing it absolutely directly, of them, stomping their feet, having a lying on the ground screaming fit. Instead,
Yeah.
just crying,
Yeah.
being distraught.
Could be. Could be.
I don't know. Couldn't have nothing to do with it. I don't know. Next was the aforementioned Shorty G interview. After the interview's over, Baron comes in, lays him out.
Oh, boy.
Throws him into a stairwell into garbage can, just throws him all over the
This
place.
is definitely like a 2K.
They were really setting us up for the simulated murder of the next match.
Yeah.
The levels of violence of that beat down the stairwell.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because that was nothing compared to what came next. So Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt. Again, Bray Wyatt has friends in the production truck. Or, I mean, I don't know if that, if it's an NBA game, Hilton is in control of the in-ring entertainment.
But he's not in town right now, I don't believe.
No, he's in India.
Yes.
So anyways, the arena was bathed in crimson light.
Yeah. The Fiend made his entrance first. Seth made his entrance first.
Right.
And then the Fiend made his entrance, and there's a bunch of red light and lasers and all sorts of awesome stuff. This new version of the theme's fantastic. And he's walking down the ring and just on the red light, and it was like, hey, it'd be cool if they had the match on the red light. And they had the match on the red light, which on TV looked fantastic. Probably not so much for the live crowd.
Seemingly the live crowd. Here in Sacramento, California.
It looked like a good crowd, and it was a lively crowd,
Come
too.
on, people, get a grip. You got to represent Sacramento. Be into it.
Man, you're paying huge money. You're sitting ringside. That's $500, man.
You have any regrets that you didn't plunk down for that?
I mean, I wouldn't have paid $500 regardless.
No, I'm talking about just
to go?
Yeah. I had a great time here.
No, I had a good time.
Oh, man.
I would like to see a Hell in a Cell
me ask you
match
something.
live at some point. but-
Is Del Taco in the is Del Taco in one of the concessions?
Afraid not.
Then count me
Out.
I gotta catch a Kings game or two this year.
Yeah, we
though.
should go.
Yeah, we should totally go.
I haven't been to Kings game in a long time.
It's been a while. Never seen one. I
I have not seen one at Golden One yet.
think I've seen two at Golden One.
I've only been to wrestling shows at Golden One.
Yeah.
Not been to a Kings game yet. Hear they're a fun, exciting team to watch, though.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, they're no slow Wolfpack, the other Sacramento team. Anyways,
By the way, go subscribe to Steve's NBA 2K YouTube channel.
The moment of the stream for me, the moment of the month, maybe the year, was all the friendos getting together and skyrocketing me from around 630 subs, I think, all the way up to.
What do you got now? What's the count? I want to get past 1,200 because
I don't know. I just need to do it.
I know, but there's going to be drop off. People are going to subscribe.
Drop in.
There's a risk of drop off. People are going to subscribe, come to their senses on Monday.
Oh my God! What the hell?
Huh?
Seth trying to leave the arena after the show goes off the air. What's going on here?
What was all that?
Oh, that's not. That's a joke. Let's see here.
Isn't the link in your bio?
Somebody had like a live update thing. Oh, by the way, shout out to Mo from the Deuce and Mo podcast.
Rocking the Going in Raw Patreon shirt. Yeah,
that was amazing to see.
Yeah.
They showed a shot of her hooping and hollering.
And Eddie.
Oh, and Eddie Salgado was there
Yeah,
too.
rocking the where we at?
1,070.
Okay.
It's all good. It's all good. I needed to get to 1,000. Now I need 200,000 watch time minutes. I think I'm only at like 20 right now. But
20 minutes?
20,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're a tenth of the way there.
I'm a tenth of the way there, and it's just every video.
I
More
think
and
that
more.
next one that's a huge moment for you.
More and more, yeah. Well, I've got one. Yeah, the next game is huge for us.
I think that's really gonna turn the tide for you.
And then there's like a big breaking news thing after that. Big trade.
You kind of spoiled it on Twitter already.
Well, that's how it works. That we do tapings.
It's like Impact, huh?
It's like
or NXT.
It's like Impa, yeah.
So the match happens all in red light. Great on TV, probably really lame for live audience.
Yeah.
Pretty early on, Seth goes out, gets a kendo stick, hits the Fiend with it. Fiend just brushes it off. No sells it completely.
Yeah.
Hits him a few times. Doesn't bat an eye.
Yeah.
Seth jumps off the second rope. Fiend catches him, hit it. Uranagi.
Mm-hmm.
Seth gets the ring steps, takes him to the Fiend, then hits two suicide dives, tosses Fiend to the ring steps. Again, goes for another suicide dive. Fiend catches him, hits Sister Abigail into the cage. Seth kind of gets the upper hand again, ends up putting Fiend on the table, hits a frog splash. Fiend more or less gets right back up.
Mm-hmm.
Then Seth hits a stomp on the Fiend. Fiend gets right back up.
Mm-hmm.
Seth goes for another stomp, catches it, hits Sister Abigail. Seth kicks out, though. And then we see the Fiend break Seth's neck.
Yeah.
This is going to be a mainstay of his arsenal from here on out.
I love it.
Seth rolls out of the ring. And then Bray goes under the ring and gets the Funhouse mallet from under there.
Mm-hmm.
Takes over to Seth. Drives him into the cell with it. Seth responds, however, with 3 super kicks. And then stomps the Fiend onto the mallet.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the ring, Seth hits 3 stomps. Bray gets up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Slowly, but gets up.
Again, horror movie villain. Keep that in
coming
mind.
At you. He's
Exactly.
like Jackson Rikers, a Terminator.
Exactly.
You try to keep down, he keeps getting back up. Seth's like, I don't know what to do now. Hits pedigree, another stomp. Fiend kicks out at 1. And then Seth hits 5 consecutive stomps. 5 of them.
Cinco.
Doesn't go for a pin, though. Because I guess in his mind, he knows that's not going to do it.
Right.
So he goes out, gets a chair instead. And so he's standing over the Fiend, like his feet are at the Fiend's hips. Seth, sorry, just standing over him. And you're like, okay, maybe he's going to put the thing on the chair on his head and do a stomp that way. No. Fiend's laying there, motionless, and Seth just rears back and hits him square in the head. Like the top of the chair hit the mat, so he didn't actually hit him.
Obviously, much like, kind of they used to do that with a concerto. The idea was like the tips of the chairs would hit each other.
Yeah, and it'd be
but
minimal
still,
contact on the head, generally. Yeah,
the point, the kayfabe point was made. He just annihilated the Fiend's head.
Yes, with a chair.
With a chair.
He covers. Fiend kicks out at 1. Then Seth gets a ladder. He puts the chair over Bray's head, rams the top of the ladder onto the chair. Bray kicks out again. So now Seth goes under the ring, looks around, finds a toolbox. So he stacks the ladder, puts the chair between the 2 sides of the ladder on top of Bray's head, and then takes the toolbox and starts bashing the ladder with the toolbox like 5, 6, 7, 8 times.
Yeah.
Then he puts the toolbox.
Which, by the way, wasn't enough for the ref to then call the DQ.
No,
bell.
not yet, no. So then he puts the toolbox and everything, goes ringside, goes under the ring, gets a sledgehammer, and he gets in like he's, all right, I'm going to use it. And the ref's like, don't do it, Seth. Think what you're going to do to this man. We don't hear it. I'm just speculating.
Yeah.
Seth takes a minute. It's like, do I really want to turn into a monster myself to defeat this monster?
Seth sold it great, too.
Yeah. And at first it looks like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then he's like, all right, whatever. And he goes, rears back, bang, hits the toolbox with the sledgehammer. Ref says, all right, attempted murder, match over.
That was awesome. That was flipping awesome. I know a lot of people hate it. I just hopped into Discord and I said, we're filming it right now. What questions do you have? And of course, how are they going to fix this? This is crap. This is terrible.
I don't think it's crap. I mean, the Seth tried to kill the Fiend.
Yeah.
That's attempted murder, what he tried to do right there.
Yeah.
And so ref calls for the bell. I start raising up the cell. Seth is like, well, what's done is done. They bring EMTs, producers, refs out. They bring a board in, try to put Bray on it. And Seth stands over the Bray and grabs over the Fiend and grabs him by like the strap on his shirt and starts talking trash. And the Fiend reaches his hand up in one fluid motion, puts the mandible claw on Seth like a horror movie villain.
Yes.
And so he gets up. He sends Seth to the outside, hits Sister Abigail out there on the mats, rips the ringside padding off, exposed concrete, drops Seth with another Sister Abigail on it, and then puts the claw on Seth again. And Seth is out there gagging, bleeding from his mouth. It's great.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
There was
It's
so
visceral.
much blood. There was so much
There
blood.
was a ton of fake blood.
His
yeah.
new thing should be vomiting blood. If anybody out there in WWE, Paul Heyman, if you're listening to this, or if anybody has access to Paul Heyman, just whisper, have Seth vomit blood a lot. And that's how you...
Or at least vomit. You feel a lot of nervous vomits and burps.
Like, to me, if we could initiate some vomit blood in WeBook and 2K,
That should be a
half the characters.
what are those things you...
G moment.
No. The things you can assign your player.
Like a charge.
Yeah, the charge
back.
things. I forget.
back.
We play that game all the time. I know what they're called, but I can't think of what they're called. You know, like the automatic reversal and finisher and stuff.
Yeah.
Payback. Yeah. Blood vomit.
Charge back. Yeah. We do have some questions here on Discord, though.
Awesome.
I just hopped in Discord real quick, and I
Cool.
said, hey, we need questions real quick.
Yeah.
See what these guys have to say. What do we have? Okay, cool. Let's see here. Hafty says, what all-time great gimmick matches would you like to see WWE ruin next with a DQ finish? That was a fun... See, I told them all questions with the basic premise that the match ending was bad are not good questions.
Yeah.
That was a clever one, though.
Okay.
That was a clever one.
Yes.
The answer is ladder match.
Gauntlet match.
Oh, that's a good one. Let's see here. Basic...
No, Money in the Bank ladder match.
Basic...
Yeah, DQ finish on the Money in the Bank ladder match.
For a year.
Mr. or Mrs. Money in the Bank, yes.
Basic punanomics. The Fiend x Becky love angle since the Fiend broke Seth confirmed. Probably not.
Not going to happen.
Probably not going to happen.
Nah.
Flame Spitter. How do they continue the Fiend after this? We sort of talked about that a little bit. I'd like the Seth thing to continue.
Yeah, Seth needs to be broken and ruined.
We sort of Gatlin T has a good question. How do you think WWE will build on both Seth Rollins turning evil and Bray being indestructible? I would love to see Seth sort of...
I think about this starting up.
He has to just soak in his shame.
This is not the first time we've seen Seth go to extremes to do something. The whole time he was carrying on that chair in that feud with Baron Corbin.
Yeah, go back even further. When he turned heel on the Shield, this should cause him fits because he doesn't want to be that Seth again.
Exactly.
But he felt that.
Yeah.
He felt it.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Yes. It's a battle for the soul of Seth is what this is. Mm-hmm. And he's got to decide whether he wants to sell his soul to keep the title or keep his soul and lose the belt to Bray.
Yep. Alex C. Should Kabuki Warriors have a thing where Asuka is a heel and Kairi is a true babyface, oblivious to Asuka's cheating?
No, Kyrie poked Nikki Cross in the eyes. That's not a face thing.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of Kairi. Everything about Kairi really being a face, except in the ring. Like she does like the sneaky stuff, whereas Asuka's the more like creepy stuff.
Overt heel.
Yeah, overt. Yeah. Hafty also. What is more powerful, Green Mist or Nickelodeon slime?
I don't think anybody's won a match with Nickelodeon slime.
Yeah, that's just humiliation.
I feel like the Nickelodeon slime would be more annoying because that's all over you.
Yeah. And then finally we'll do this one. Austin 6D Scrabble Champ. What do you think Nikki's ceiling is on her own?
Oh, she's great.
She's great.
And especially if
but
they
in the confines of WWE, I don't know.
If they can if them losing the tag titles is going to be the impetus for a singles run for Nikki. It's all on how they handle the breakup of Alexa and Nikki.
Yeah. They can't use it just to get Alexa over.
No.
She's already where she needs to be.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks everybody. Thank you, Discord, for your questions.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Thanks, Cal.
Thank you very much, Cal.
Showing up.
I don't really feel like I deserve to hold this because it wasn't that impressive of a...
Well, it's yours.
No, I'm going to vacate this.
What? How are we going to decide who's going to have it then?
Survivor Series weekend, man.
That's like a month from now.
It's more than that.
No, there needs to be a champion now.
Oh, no. Sorry. Full Gear. It's 1 month from now.
When is that?
November 9th.
I don't like being without a champion for a month.
I don't feel like I deserve it after winning 3-1.
You can't just willy-nilly vacate it.
Why not? Dolph Ziggler did to the U.S. title. I mean, disappeared for months. Speaking of which, I'm going on vacation.
I hope so. You need it. Anyways, thanks everybody. It did me wonders. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate it. Till next time. Talk to you later.
Bye.